Time to get back to Live from Seattle with Michelle Mendoza.
Thank you, Big Voice Guy. We are talking money, not just money, but really you, your business, your family, your calling, what makes you happy, and sometimes coming to that place in your life. Have you ever been there where you think, maybe I need to reimagine things? Maybe I've been doing the same thing over and over again, and it just doesn't feel like I'm happy. I'm just getting a paycheck, work to live, live to work, blah. What if you could be doing something more? I mean, just come on. What if you could be doing something more? Well, there are a lot of folks who are doing that. And what's kind of interesting is a new statistic that shows that Generation Xers are a little more likely to get into this kind of freelance, contract, working for myself, creating, than even millennials. And that kind of surprises me. There's a lot of new stats on what is called the gig economy. And there is one man who is at the center of it all. He can answer our questions, and he can even help us out if you are, well, maybe someone who is part of this new kind of gig fluid society. It's kind of getting out of that traditional 9 to 5. And I have invited the CEO of Gig Wage. It's been called a PayPal for contractors, and it's one of the fastest growing tech startups that is out there. And it's a pretty cool way to work and manage your business pay. So we're going to talk with Greg Lewis. Greg, thank you for making time for us today. Craig Lewis. Craig Lewis. I don't want to get your name wrong. We're just meeting. First impressions and all. Craig, let's talk a bit about how the gig economy has gotten to be such a big thing.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal phenomenon, if you will. So independent contractors have been around forever, and we've known them as 1099s. But in the last few years, you've just seen this explosion, and it's mostly due to technology. And mobile technology, to be specific. The ability to push a button and be able to do work, or on the other side, push a button and be able to get someone to do very specific work for you, thanks to smartphones and mobile technology, has really just created an explosion of opportunity in the workforce that didn't exist, 10 years ago.
Right. And isn't it kind of nice because it's better for, it saves money if we're not doing a whole lot of commute. And if you were in Seattle this morning with what we're calling the Seattle squeeze, we lost one of our main thoroughfares through the city temporarily. Man, if you can do a little telecommuting, that is really cool. Why is it, though, that Generation Xers, I would think millennials tend to be on the front part of any wave, any new thing that seems to happen. But it seems like Gen Xers are really saying goodbye to the 9 to 5. What's up with that?
Yeah, so I think the data that you're referring to, there's a bit of lag in the data, right? And so millennials have just become the largest generation in today's workforce. So up until that, it was Gen X. So they're going to dominate most of the stats in every sector.
Yeah, but we started it. I'm a Gen Xer. We did it first. Yep. Just saying.
Yeah, you sound like the millennial.
Well, this has been a fun interview. Thanks so much, Craig.
Well, full disclosure, yes. I am what's called an old millennial.
Okay.
So I kind of straddle the Gen X millennial line, depending on which ranges you look at. But
that's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Millennials and Gen X in general are going to dominate this space. I think we understand enough about the corporate side and kind of the traditional side, but we also have this kind of longing for freedom and flexibility that, again, technology has enabled. So you're seeing millennials and Gen X really take advantage of this. But I think one other important thing to point out is the gig economy encompasses all four generations. So baby boomers are even trying to supplement their retirement income by driving for Uber or renting out for Airbnb, different things like that. And then Gen Z, the younger generation, they're, full-time YouTubers, and they're being paid as contractors. So The gig economy has flexibility and variety for everyone, which is why it's growing so fast.
It's pretty exciting. I want to talk to you in just a moment about some of the creative things that people have done, even those who are part of the government shutdown and they're not getting paychecks and they're thinking outside the box. And that's a bit of what the gig economy is reimagining yourself and taking your passions and being able to put it into, well, a paycheck. They say, though, that I don't know if this is just a rumor, but it was predicted that the gig economy would just be the next biggest thing and everyone would be on it. And now some economists are saying, yeah, it's less than 10% that are really part of this more fluid economy. What say you?
Yeah, so I've been talking a lot about this since some of that data came out. And the bottom line is the data is going to be in flux for quite a while. The systems that we have in place, the methodology of gathering information on the workforce is not designed for the gig economy, so it's going to be volatile. People are going to say it's big. People are going to say it's small.
Okay.
But when you have your feet on the streets like we do, we help businesses all throughout the country pay, manage, and support independent contractors. And we see these freelancers and these contractors and these gig workers, and we understand the impact that it's having across every sector and every industry. I can tell you that it's very real. It's a very tangible thing, and it's helping people like in this government shutdown in a time of need because you can push a button and work, right? And that provides a lot of confidence in consumer sentiment because I can push a button and go make money, right? And so I think anybody dismissing that is probably a little off basis, and they'll be on the wrong side of history.
So I want to talk to the people who may be thinking about reimagining their life, or they were just hanging out with friends and someone saying, oh, I'm so tired of my job, I'm unhappy, whatever it may be. We all get to that point as we're talking with Craig Lewis. He's an expert on the gig economy, and he is with Gig Wage. We'll talk about that as well, Craig. But when people get to the point where they're reimagining, then you can hear some other people's stories, and it kind of sparks, if they can do it, I can do it too. Can you share with us, just as a guy who's really in the know about the gig economy, this more fluid economy where I'm kind of working for myself, or maybe I'm doing a couple of part-time jobs or contract working especially, what are some of those stories, some of the creative things that people have been able to do to really not only make ends meet, but to really make things happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, I think that's the beauty of the gig economy. People kind of make this decision of, okay, are we just trying to make ends meet and make some extra money, and so I can go out and do some random task or job to make extra money, or am I really trying to create a lifestyle change? We've seen some of the first what we call gig economy millionaires start to blossom over the last couple of years. You can do anything. I mean, anything you can imagine doing. There are some people that are making full-time livings just as companions and friends. Literally, someone can push a button and get a friend to show up and spend time with them. And they're paid as an independent contractor to do something like that where you're relationship building and communicating. But you also have lawyers and doctors who are paid as contractors. We recently just brought on a new company that has hundreds and hundreds of psychologists that are on-demand psychologists to go out and help elderly people at senior living centers. And so there's just this wide range of things you can do, from an Uber driver or, building IKEA furniture to building these wonderful careers and relationships in the gig economy.
I'll tell you one thing. I will not be starting my own business building IKEA furniture. And if anyone is out there listening who knows me, that's the truth. But I like that you say anything we can imagine we can do, and I like that, and that sounds great on paper. It's really romantic when you're listening to a radio show, but putting that into practical reality takes a very brave person, I think, and it's not easy to do. So in our final 2 minutes or so together, Craig Lewis, I wanted to ask you how we get there, how you've seen people get there, to make that leap and what works. And I also want to know a bit about Gig Wage and how that can help.
Yep. So the way to get there is at your own pace. I think, again, the flexibility of the gig economy allows that, though, right? You don't have to dive in head first. You don't have to go all in. It's one of the best pathways to what we call micro entrepreneurship. And so you can keep your job and start to kind of push buttons and do work in different types of work and see what works for you and see where your passion kind of leads you. You could try dog walking this week, or you may want to try building a website next week. Whatever it is, just go at your own pace. And so I think that's the beautiful part of the gig economy. There's something in it for everybody, and you're not forced to do anything. And as far as gig wage, we're trying to help businesses understand what the modern worker and the modern micro-entrepreneur wants. And we're helping them pay these people, manage and support these people in their journeys. And we're using technology to do that. And so we're super excited about the space and the opportunity and all the passionate people in this new modern workforce.
Yeah, I think this is really good advice. I guess the light can come on for you. I'll give an example. Went to a friend's business, and her back room was pretty disorganized. So I went to the dollar store, bought some baskets and some things, just went in and said, hey, I'm going to help you out. I organized it. Man, she had friends that came, and she was like, look what my friend did. I could have started a business on that. Someone said, can I hire her to come and organize? You may have a gifting and you may be good at something. It's amazing how you can take that and turn it into cash. And you may want to find out how a little bit of software can help you as well. Craig Lewis is an expert on the gig economy. He's the CEO of Gig Wage. Go to gigwage.com to find out more information. And Craig, I hope you'll join us again.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Today is Money Monday, and we're trying to help you out to reimagine a new year and maybe even a new you in your business and, well, with your pocketbook. As we continue, we are talking a bit about the gig wage of being